Good morning, Esther. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your busy schedule to join us on this week's Business Owner podcast. Would you like to go ahead, tell us a bit about yourself and about your business?
Sure. Thanks for having me. My name's Esther Ocampo. Originally from Northern Ireland, born and raised. Did studied business and Spanish at university. Ended up in Mexico for 12 years, and came home with husband and kids on tow. Um, our business it's a family run business. My husband runs it with me. It's a digital marketing agency out of a very small town in Northern Ireland. But we are a mighty group in that we can provide lots of help and support in lots of different areas for businesses all around the world because of the two languages that we speak, and it gives people the confidence to reach out into different companies and audiences as well, because we have that cultural difference, and know about cultural differences in different countries with having lived there, visited, toured, etc. So yeah, that's
Awesome. So you're using that perspective you gained when you were traveling to bring that into your business to better serve your clients. Then,
yeah, yeah, definitely. So the world, as we all realized a few years ago, is smaller than we realize. And your physical borders and boundaries that you've had beforehand are no longer there when it comes to digital and online worlds. So why not make the most of it and
yeah.
expand your horizons and expand your audience into different countries as well?
So tell me a wee bit about your target market. Then, who would you most like to speak to?
Our target market is service-based businesses, professional services. So that's your accountants, your lawyers, those who maybe traditionally had a more word of mouth way of doing things, but those ways have almost all disappeared because everyone's going online and they don't have as big an online presence as they maybe need to have. So you see a lot of well, I've seen a lot of professional businesses start to struggle recently because their previous audience and their previous customers are older in age and you know not using them anymore because they're retiring, etc., etc. So trying to get a younger generation and a younger demographic is hard for them. And they're maybe not as tech savvy in a lot of things as other businesses would be. So that's where we would come in and help with everything from web design, graphic design, social media management, automations, AI, you name it, we can help you with it, whether it's organic, paid, all of those things can be done by myself and my team here in house.
Awesome. So you're basically a one-stop shop for those guys who haven't been online before. Then,
Yeah, yeah. So we noticed a big uptick in that whenever COVID hit, because they had been solely, people come in through our front door, and all of a sudden they didn't have a front door that people
mm,
could walk through. So we've just gone from there and taken them to bigger and better things. And yeah, they've really enjoyed the extra benefit of being seen by more eyes and being shared by a lot of people in that, oh, I didn't realize you could do that, or didn't realize that this was a law, or that this was
sure.
possible through the accountants, things like that. So
Yeah, awesome. So I mean, it's I'm sure that's been a big, massive untapped resource for them as well that they haven't been able to realize before.
yeah, definitely, definitely.
And so, what about you guys then? How long has it you've been operating? Did you say was it 12 years you've been in business, or you were
Yeah,
you were in
so
Mexico for 12 years?
well, I was in Mexico for 12 years. So the business basically started in Mexico when my youngest was born 12 years ago.
Okay.
Um, Unfortunately, you get to a certain age in Mexico and you're no longer hireable. So especially with
Okay.
kids. Um, so then we started it over there, the husband and myself, and then we came home a few years later for the kids' education more than anything. It was important for me that they be educated here in my hometown, basically.
Sure.
And we brought the business with us. And because of the style of the business, we've always been able to work from home, work around the kids, work around their football schedules, work
Yeah.
around everything that they need to do. We've been able to be here and go whenever they need us to. So that's been one of the main reasons why we started what we have, and why we have never moved into a physical office space, because it just makes family life easier in a
Yeah.
way to just have it
So
all
you
here.
were you were doing the whole working from home thing before everybody else then?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We've been doing the working from home thing for 12 years. So we were able to
And
give
what
lots of
about
helpful advice.
obviously it sounds like it's not forced upon you, but the cultural differences out there maybe accelerated it for you. So what's been the biggest learning you've had as a business owner?
Biggest learning would have to be when to hire and who to hire,
Okay.
because that's one of the most difficult things that I think I've come across. Like I say, I studied business at university, so the basics were there, the theory was there, but
Hmm.
nobody ever tells you about, hiring. They inform you why you should hire and why you should fire, but they
Sure.
don't explain what other skills to look for. They all sort of go to the tangible skills rather than the
Yeah.
intangible. But you need to hire somebody that you get along with, that you can have a bit of banter with,
Yeah.
that you can
Good,
have a
good sort of
conversation with
cultural
outside
fit.
of work. It's cultural fit, not even like an emotional fit, but more of a friendship has
Mm.
to be there,
Yeah.
or there has to be some other sort of click rather than they're the best candidate on paper
Yeah.
for the job. So that's definitely been a tough one, and one that I would say we're still navigating. There's times that we need to bring in somebody quickly to do a task, and they could end up staying, or we could have somebody that's been with us for years and all of a sudden it's not working. And
Yeah.
it doesn't get any easier. It doesn't. It really
No.
doesn't.
So there's no like it's just experience and gut feeling, and there's no like this is the thing you do.
Yeah, yeah. And I think a lot of businesses are finding that, especially in today's market. I mean, when we first started and we were all work from home, and we have people who work for us in different time zones, different countries,
Mm.
they find that really strange. It's like, no, but
Mm.
what do you need me to do at 9 o'clock in the morning? I said, whatever needs doing, I need it by a certain day. You can have as much time or as little
Yeah.
time to do it as you need. If you get it done in 30 minutes, perfect. If it takes you 3 days, that's okay too. I just need it by this date. So it
So you
took a
you
lot
focused on
of,
the outcome as opposed to the input then.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it sounds like you're really ahead of your time with that again. A lot of businesses are moving towards that now.
yeah, yeah. And it's something that people have actually approached us and said, how do you manage it? And how have you
Mm.
found it? And how has it helped you or, hindered you in any way?
Yeah.
But I find it gives a lot of people that extra flexibility that they're looking for as well.
Yeah.
And so that, if they have small kids or
Yeah.
grandkids, then they can be around to help out. And it's, life's about more than just working. At the
Yeah.
end of the day, you should work to live, not the other way around.
100%. And again, that's going to help you attract maybe the better quality candidates then for that flexibility as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what about then? What would you say has been your biggest learning about yourself since you've been in business?
Oh, that's, I would say my flexibility, because you have to roll with the punches. You have to be, especially as a business owner, you have to be the HR manager and the finance director
Mm.
and the, you know, sales representative and everything else in between. So you have to be able to jump from one thing to another quickly and fluidly. And then when someone asks you something, you have to retain that information too. So all of that has been sometimes a struggle, sometimes it's been, oh yeah, like a great challenge, like in a good way.
Yeah.
But other times you just want to curl up and somebody else take this. So I think everybody goes through that as a business owner. You're like, am I really doing the right thing? Should I stay in
Yeah.
business? Should I hand over the reins to someone else and just work in my business rather than managing and everything else? So again, it's all the juggling and the um
It's your resilience really at the end of the day, isn't it?
yeah, yeah. And there will come days that you just sort of go, no, I don't want to deal with that today. And as long as it's not urgent, then it's okay. But
All sounds very familiar, I have to say. So what you're going a long time now. What is it that still swings your feet out of bed in the morning? What is it? What bit of the business is it you love?
well, I love the ever-changing environment of the online world.
Mm,
And a lot of people shy away from that because it is so constantly changing and modifying, and just how do you keep up with all the trends and all the algorithms and the hashtags and what to post and where to post and how,
yeah,
where your
yeah, yeah.
audience is. But I quite like that. I quite like the
Mm,
dynamics of it and the ever-changing landscape of it, and just never knowing what new platforms are coming out or what new software there's going to be and what um advances, even more advances in AI we're going to have. And
yeah.
you know it's all helping to make our business better, and therefore our clients' businesses thrive.
And do you think that ability to embrace change has served you well then to in the longevity of your business?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I mean, we talk about challenges and facing changes. Everybody went through COVID, and the changes in the world landscape at that point. And then shortly afterwards, I had cancer. So that was another big change and big challenge.
Mm,
But, we've come out the other side of that. The business kept moving, kept working because we had such a strong base of a team behind us, that were able to take over the roles that I was doing, or a lot of the roles that I was doing, so that I
yeah.
could go through treatment and recover. So that's all been, you know, uh, hard but manageable.
I was going to say you must take a massive amount of confidence from how you've handled that and how the team handled it then.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Now I know that I can hand over more stuff to them
Yeah,
as and when it comes in. So
yeah. And so what does the future look like for you guys say in the next 5 years? What do you see as the challenges and where would you like to be?
challenges again will be hiring more people,
Mm,
when that'll happen, how that'll happen, where they'll be, because like I say, they don't have to be on our doorstep.
sure.
And those challenges then come with the fear of, will we have enough clients to cover the work that they need to do, their wages, et cetera, et
Yeah.
cetera. So it's all a big amount of risk taking, and um, just going with your gut and going with
Mm,
that feeling of, no, something, we can do it. And that's just something that we've always had, that can do attitude. I think it comes from my husband and his, being Mexican, they have this phrase, it's called si se puede, yes, you can.
yeah.
And he's always saying it. He's he's a lot more positive than I am, even, but it's him bringing the business along and going, yes, we can. Yes, we can do it. Say yes to the project. Say yes, we can, definitely help everybody out. And we've definitely learned and grown with everything that life has thrown at us along the way. So
Just backing yourselves at the end of the day.
yeah, yeah, it's believing in yourself,
Yeah.
because I think a lot of small business owners, and not, it doesn't come down to gender, male or female.
Mm,
Everybody who starts a small business starts going, will anybody buy from me? Will anybody
mm,
find me? Will anybody, rate me? Will anybody, it's the what ifs of
yeah.
everything. So it's having those what ifs and going with it anyway, feel
Yes.
the fear and do it anyway, sort of thing. So yeah, it's one of those things that, yes, it's scary, but it's doable.
Yeah. And I get a sense of that you kind of like that a little bit. It's feel the fear and do
I
it
do.
anyway. That's keeps it
Yeah.
interesting for you.
Yeah. And it's the unknown of what each day is gonna bring you as well, of like, what client work are you gonna be doing, and where will the internet take you, and where will AI go? And
Yeah.
it's all of these unknowns that you just have to roll with, but it makes life that little bit more interesting.
Awesome. So, probably one of my favorite questions to ask in these chats: if you could go back and speak to an 18-year-old Esther, what would you say to her? What piece of advice would you give her?
Start the business earlier. Start the business earlier. Just don't wait and be fearful of the what ifs. What if I can't afford to, feed my family? There's jobs that you get that you still can't afford to feed your family. So, you might as well take the risk and be there for your family if that's one of your whys, or be
Yeah.
there to see life and travel. Your own business has unlimited um an unlimited path and an unlimited reach of what you can do with it. So the only limitation is yourself. So if I could go back to 18-year-old me, I'd say, yes, do the degree, but use it immediately instead of, going and working for other people.
Just get on with it. I love that feel the fear and do it anyway. I'll definitely take that away from this chat. That's amazing. Look, thank you so much for coming on, being so open and honest, and sharing your story. I know you said your husband is more positive than you, but I actually think your outlook is hugely positive, and that's obviously serving you well. It sounds like you've got a really exciting and bright future with the business, and wish you well with it. And thank you again so much for coming on, sharing your story.
Thanks very much.